I eat my cereal from a bowl.
You eat your cereal from a bowl?
My name is Joel and I eat my cereal from a bowl. Oh, I should have been a poet.
You didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it. What a lost opportunity. The world has been robbed of true greatness. Hey everybody, it's Vspot Joel, and today we are going to take a look at the RBA portion of one of our favorite clearamizers, the SubTank Mini. This is a hybrid clearamizer, so you can use their OCC coils or you can use the Mini RBA that comes in this, and out of the box this is what you get. And we'll go ahead and just screw this chimney cap off here and take that. So it comes from the factory pre-staged with a coil already, and we did test this out already, so you might be able to see that that coil's got a couple fibers of cotton hanging off of it, but we're going to treat this like it's brand new and kind of show you how to do a quick basic build on this thing. There are a lot of options for building on these. So we're not even going to do the coil today because there are all sorts of cool videos on YouTube from better personalities than us that will give you different options. But for this, we're just going to show you how to get this up and going out of the box if this is your kind of intro into the RBA world. We think it's a great place to start. It's super easy to build on, and the performance is fantastic. So let's take a look at what we've got. So what I'm going to do first is we've taken the OCC coil out of the base here, and we're just going to screw the RBA deck back on there with the coil. And KangerTech actually includes some pretty nice organic cotton in the package, and I don't want to do it any disservice. It's really actually surprisingly good quality, but we do actually have samurai cotton. And I've got to say that as good as the KangerTech cotton is, this stuff actually really just puts it to shame. So let me grab a pad here for use. Let's see, and actually, before we even get this started, you can also see that out of the package it comes with some extra O-rings, a screwdriver, some extra screws, and actually another pre-built coil for you here. And just fish that out. And actually, if you were going to rebuild your own coil and you'd already burned through their 2 factory coils, you can actually use this screwdriver that comes with it as a tool to wrap your coils. And one of the things you'll notice is that from the factory it actually comes not as a micro coil, meaning the wraps of the coil are compressed together. They're spaced out. The reason for that is that when they're spaced out like this, you can kind of pack the cotton a little bit tighter, and when it wicks the juice out of the tank, it gives you a little bit more surface area for the liquid to vaporize off. So on this build, we are going to pack the cotton a little bit tighter than you probably would if you were doing a micro coil build. And if this is new lingo, just ignore it completely. And if you kind of repeat the steps that we do here, it should get you set up pretty nicely. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut some of this cotton off of this pad. This is a sandwiched cotton. It's got a woven exterior. So there's not really, I wouldn't remove this. Sometimes for a build I do like to use the interior, but on a deck like this, we're just going to leave it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of eyeball this. You want maybe like 4 or 5 millimeters in width for your cotton. Make sure that I'm actually cutting all the way through. And we're just going to try to cut this straight. I'm terrible at cutting, as that's now becoming abundantly clear to everyone. And set this aside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take one end and we're just going to roll it down nice and tight and try to make it a little bit pointy. Sometimes I pull it out a little bit to try to get the end to point down, but I always seem to end up with this lump on the end. There are people that are way better at doing this than myself. So I'm gonna get that reasonably tight and as small as I can. And then we'll just take it and thread it through the coil and pull that through. Should have a little bit of tension, but you don't want it to be too tight. And like I said, with this method, a little bit tighter is to be expected because you do have the gaps between each wrap on the coil. So we'll go ahead and pull that through like that. And then what we'll do is just cut the ends off and bow tie it. Spread that out a little bit. There we go. And then pull that up straight. Make little rabbit ears out of it. And then thread it back through the chimney cap actually. And this top cap does unthread as well. We do want to take that off for the build. So there we go. So now we've got our cotton pulled up. And I'm just going to re-separate where I put those together. And I've actually got probably a little bit too much length on this, so I'm going to trim these down a little bit more. I'm going to take maybe another couple millimeters off of this. There's no science to this, it's just sort of, I go by feel. I've screwed up enough of these that I kind of have an idea of what length I want these to be. So there we go, and actually that wasn't even pulled out all the way, so let me try to just even it out a little bit. Not that it really makes that much of a difference, but I'm a little OCD. So then we got that, and then all we're gonna do is take the cotton, and we're just gonna tuck it back down in here. Now we don't really wanna pack it in there too hard. You don't wanna put a lot of pressure in. You just want it to be sort of fluffy. And then on this side, and I may still have a little bit too much cotton in there, but we'll see how it vapes. We forgot the juice.
Oh, what kind of juice you want?
Something tasty and 70-30, your call.
Tasty and 70-30. Let's see. How about some pearberry?
Ooh.
This is a 30-70. This is 3 milligram.
3 milligram will work.
Okay.
I think 3 milligram
The
is
magic of television.
my off-screen assistant. So let's see what we got here. What do you know? Wow, that's the first time I've ever been able to actually do that.
See what I did? Because this is actually my mini, and we're going to build on it. So, see what I did there? The pearberry.
Nice. Good call. And so we'll just kind of wick that on there. And this is a 70-30. It'll take a little bit of time to wick this up. So we've given this a moment to wick up the juice. So after we've wicked it, what we're actually going to do is try to just pull this away a little bit. At the bottom on the outside, you can see you've got these channels here, and that's where the juice is actually going to enter the RBA portion of the tank. And what you want to do is you want to kind of just clear a little bit of space, and you don't want to pull this hard. Again, the goal is to leave this reasonably fluffy. You don't want to pack it in tight, because if you pack it in too tight, the juice will have trouble wicking. And it can also impact airflow. And like I said, I think I may have too much cotton, especially in on this one side, but I'm just going to reach down in here in this channel and just kind of fish a little bit, not put any real pressure on it, but just to pull it away from that channel at the bottom so that we get good juice flow into the RBA here. And let me take the Atlantis off of my trusty SX Mini here. And let's go ahead and put this bad boy on. I do have an ohm reader here, and I kind of skipped that. But honestly, this works just fine. So you can see that we're reading at 0.59 ohms with the build out of the box. And that's ohm. Ohms are never plural, I don't think. But so we'll just give it a quick test fire to make sure that I think that's working pretty well. So then we'll go ahead and put this top cap on. Screw that on. And now we've got the tank. And we'll fill this guy up. And this I always make a huge mess with. Oh, and wow, shit. Well, we'll pretend that didn't happen. We'll never get to use this piece of paper again for recording. And what I was going to say is you want to make sure that you don't get the juice down that center tube, because that's just the airflow chamber. So you'll be sucking the juice back in later if you do. The other thing to look out for when you disassemble your SubTank Mini is sometimes this bottom O-ring will come out, especially if you're doing this over a sink. This will wash down the drain really easily. You don't want to spend a lot of time fishing through the nasty garbage. I have twice, because I think Pavlov was wrong. You can't condition anybody to learn stuff, at least not me. So just make sure that you've got those O-rings in there. And they do give you a couple extras, but you know, you don't want to lose those like the first day of ownership of this thing, because I can just see the potential for being pretty pissed about not having. And this thing's got a pretty nice capacity. It's a 4.5 milliliter, I believe, with either the OCC or the RBA in there. So it's a little bit different than the full-size SubTank, where you lose a fair amount of capacity by switching over the RBA. So this one's much smaller in size. And you don't really want to fill this up all the way to the top of that tube. You just want to get close. Like that's probably as far as I would chance it, because as you screw this back in, it'll displace that liquid in there, and that will make a mess and push it all over the place where you don't want it if you're not careful. So I'm going to screw that back in. Make sure it's nice and tight. Put that there. And then I do usually, even though it was reasonably well wicked, what I like to do to kick things off is just put my finger over the airflow hole and just give it a couple drags. You can see the air bubbles pop up, which is a good way to prime the juice. Make sure you're keeping that wick nice and moist. If it's not saturated, you will get dry hits. It'll taste nasty, and you'll be kicking yourself going, wow, this is a terrible tank, but it's not. It's fantastic. It's all about the build. So I think this thing's actually ready to go, so let's give it a try. I had this set at 27 watts. I'm actually going to back that down a little bit. I like to start low and then work my way up. So I'm just going to go at 20 watts to start here and make sure it's working okay. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. So that's 20 watts. Let's go ahead and run this up a little bit more. Whoops. Let's run it up to, say, 25 or so. Sorry. And I got it in soft mode. I wanted it in standard. That flavor, man, that flavor is just awesome out of this thing. You know, the OCC coils are fantastic, but I do like the flavor out of the RBA. that much better. This thing is just absolutely one of the best all-around tanks that I've ever used. Really nice vapor production. I mean, this is not about cloud chasing though. This is really about getting the best flavor out of it. And with the right build, you can keep it running all day long. You get no dry hits. The only thing you want to make sure is that your tank stays reasonably full. Once it gets low and you start tilting it and the juice moves away from those channels at the bottom, you will start to get dry hits. So keep your tank filled up, and I think you'll be pretty happy with it. Josh, anything else that I should be saying here?
No, man, I think you got it. I just gotta say we absolutely love the SubTanks. The Mini, the Nano, even the big one they retired, and they're coming out with
the SubTank Plus.
Plus, because if the SubTank wasn't big enough, love it.
Oh, flavor for days. This thing is just outrageous. So, yeah, I mean, that was a quick take. I think anybody can probably do this same build reasonably quick. Not hard to work on. This deck is super easy. Even if you want to wrap your own coils, you know, it's almost as quick. It's not a super painful process. But like we said, there are all sorts of options for different builds on this RBA. You can go online and check them out. Just do a search on YouTube for SubTank Mini RBA build, and take a look at some of the crazy stuff out there that people do to maximize the performance of this thing. And yeah, we think if you buy one of these that you'll be super happy, and I think it'll be hard pressed to find another tank on the market that'll leave you as satisfied as this one. So we hope you found this useful and informative. Hopefully gives you a little bit of confidence if you're on the fence. If you think this looks like something you might be able to tackle and might be a good venture into the RBA world, or even if you're a seasoned RBA veteran and you've heard wonderful things about the flavor that you can get out of this tank, we can vouch they're all true. We've got them at vspotvapes.com. Encourage you to head over. The link's in the description info for the video, so check it out and tell us what you think. If you buy one, we'd love to hear from you and see if you are as enthusiastic about this as we are. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over social media, so we'd love to interact with you and hear your thoughts on it. Until next time, vape on. That flavor though, man. God.
It's the bomb.
Oh man.